Remember the good old days of dual income, no kids, double-digit pay raises, and two-for-one stock splits? Well, these days, money's a lot harder to get a hold of and even harder to hang on to. That's why State Farm agent Paul Downing would like to introduce you to the Discount Double Check. He'll go through your car insurance policy line by line to make sure you're getting the discounts you deserve and aren't leaving any money on the table. It's fast, it's free, and when he's done finding you 10% here, 15% there, you can find yourself looking at discounts of up to 40%. That can mean savings worth hundreds of dollars, and that's a pretty good return for simply investing a few minutes of your time. So call State Farm agent Paul Downing today at 219-884-6947. That's 219-884-6947, because being there to keep more money in your pocket is why he's here. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Good afternoon, and welcome to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I am your host, Kevin King. He is I, and I am him, the 800 Credit Score Man himself. And again, thank each and every one of you for coming in and listening to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. You know I truly, truly appreciate it. I sincerely do. So, hey, it is a good day, crazy day, fast-paced day for me, at least anyway. It's Saturday, the 24th of March. Just completed the financial wellness seminar that was hosted and presented by Living Purpose Church. That church is located right in Aurora, Illinois. So you guys look up Living Purpose Church, Pastor Tim Bailey and First Lady LaTarsha Bailey. So today was the financial seminar, talked about budgeting, talked about mortgages, and of course we talked about credit in the seminar. Very powerful, impactful seminar for sure. So hey, next time there is a seminar, you make sure you get there so you can check it out. So what are we going to talk about today? Today we're going to talk about really more like the ins and outs of credit. You know, we're going to talk some of the do's and some of the don'ts when you come to credit. And again, yes, the ins and outs of how you navigate this whole credit system. All right. So that's what we're going to discuss today on the 800 Credit Score Man Show. Before we get started, I need you to share this show. So please share the show with your friends and your family and your frenemies, your coworkers and all that stuff. Share the show so we can continue to grow. If you don't know, it's on iHeartRadio now. That's one of our latest adds to the picked up the show. It's on Castbox, it's on iTunes, it's on Stitcher, it's on Alexa. So you got Alexa sitting at the house, tell Alexa, play the 800 Credit Score Man Show, and it should pop up. All right, so let's jump into a couple of shout outs right quick. I want to shout out Nia Bacon. She celebrated her birthday, so happy birthday to you, Nia. This is my little cuz, y'all. So happy birthday to you, Nia. One of my favorite, cutest little cousins, and she's extremely smart. So happy birthday to you. I gotta shout out Amber Downing as well. She celebrated a birthday. Beautiful young lady, Amber Downing. Happy birthday to you. Yes, her dad is Paul Downing of State Farm. You just heard his ad. So yes, give a shout out to Amber Downing as well. Okay, so let's jump into the show a little bit today, you guys. Like I said, we're going to talk about some credit do's and don'ts and the ins and outs of what's going on with credit, how you're going to navigate this particular space. So the first thing I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about a don't. So this is what you don't want to do. What you don't want to do is you don't want to run out and get a whole bunch of credit cards all at the same time. You don't want to go out and open up a whole bunch of loans from different loan places all at the same time. You can't rush building your credit. It's not helpful for your credit score. You might can go out and get a whole bunch of stuff because people will give it to you for whatever reason. They got low standards or you got high income, so you can afford all of these things. You got a decent credit score. You can't have a decent credit score if you're just starting out. But my point is that If that's the case, I don't want you to run out and get a whole bunch of credit cards or do a whole bunch of inquiries about your credit all at the same time. You cannot rush this particular process or this part of the process. One, you already have a short length of history. If you go out and do this, you just continue to shorten your length of history. So don't go out and do that. That's one of the first things. Don't run out and get a whole bunch of cards all at the same time, or any kind of accounts at the same time. You don't want to do that, okay? So let's make sure we don't do that. And then even in between time, in the meantime, when you're out there trying to do those things, not only are you messing with your length of history, but then if you start to collect all of those different accounts, the credit bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, they have no idea, none whatsoever, what are you going to do with all of this. They don't know if you're going to be a good steward over it or a bad steward over it. So they're going to assume the worst. So they're looking at risk. They're trying to avoid risk, and they're assessing your risk and your credit worthiness. And people that go out and get a lot of credit all at one time, at least historically, from their perspective, means that they are in some kind of financial trouble, and it may cause you to miss payments or what have you. So that's why your score will definitely go down if you start to do that. I've said you need 4 to 6 credit cards. Well, I didn't suggest that you get 4 to 6 credit cards. What I told you was that people with the better scores have an average between 4 and 6 credit cards. So that doesn't mean you need to go out today and get all of those credit cards. So that's one thing, one of the do's or one of the don'ts of the ins and outs of credit. So what is another thing that you don't want to do? One, we talk about credit cards all the time. We're always talking about, not credit cards, I'm sorry. We talk about collections all the time on the show, how to deal with them, what happens, and all this other stuff. The first thing is, don't let your accounts go into collections. Now you say, how do I avoid that? Well, one, if you pay on time in the first place, it wouldn't go to collection. If you had an issue, and you couldn't pay, no matter if it's a cell phone bill, a cable bill, or any type of collection that could go on your credit report, if you were to contact the people and talk to them prior to it going on there, you may be able to stop it. Now, a lot of people, and I've been guilty of this myself in the past, a lot of people are saying, well, I don't have all the money that they're asking for, so they don't bother to answer the emails or the mail that they send to you, or answer the telephone when they're trying to call you. They don't bother to do so because they figure, I don't have the money in the first place. So why in the world am I even answering this phone call? Because I have nothing to say to them, or nothing that's going to be satisfactory to them. And then, quite frankly, some people that are collecting on you, they aren't the friendliest people. Some of them are actually mean, and people don't want to deal with mean. Some people don't mind dealing with mean, but they just don't want to get in an argument right now, so they don't answer the phone. It is best to not allow those collections to get to collections. So if you have an account, I don't care if you owe them $2,000 or $200, and they're saying or threatening to send you to collection. You've got the one letter in the mail. Hey, it's 5 days late on your payment. Sorry about that. If you already made your payment, thanks so much. I appreciate you sending in your payment, and you can disregard this letter. Then you got the next letter that comes in, and it says, hey, we didn't get your letter. We sent you a previous letter, and we didn't get your payment, and we sent you a previous letter. Where's the money that you particularly owe us? Then you get the third letter, and the third letter is like, hey, you are 21 days past due. You're going to mess around and hurt your credit, this, that, and the others. You get those kinds of letters in the mail. The last one, it's probably pink or it's red, and it comes to you, and they say, hey, you haven't made your payment. It's been 2 months. It's been 3 months or whatever. We're going to have to send you to collections, and we've been calling you and calling you and calling you. When you get that one and you haven't paid all this time, you absolutely need to pick up the phone and call them, because you don't want it to go onto your credit report if you can help it. Now, here's the thing. If you're paying them, they're not going to place it on your credit report. I didn't say paying them the whole bill. If you owe somebody $285 a month, you've decided, or your circumstances have changed and you can't make that payment of $285 every month, then you need to pay them something. If it's just $50, if it's $100, if it's $5, you need to pay them something. You guys ever watch Judge Mathis? You ever watch The People's Court? Oftentimes on there, somebody's had a debt that's been 3 or 4 years, and they haven't paid a dime on it. Judge Mathis and Judge Million are very good at saying you haven't paid anything, not $20, not $5 toward that particular debt. So that's why you're here in court today. Same difference when it comes to your collections. You want to make sure that you pay something on it to stop you from going to collections. Yes, you're already behind, it's already on your credit report, showing monthly from whatever account that is. It's already on your credit report that you had an issue, and that you were continually having issues, but it's better than going to collections. So you don't want to let things go to collection. Let's go to a do. I do want you to pull your credit report. You need to pull your credit report. You need to make sure that everything is accurate on your credit report. So 79, I think 80% of people find that there are errors on their credit report. So you want to make sure that you do that. People that listen to this show have confessed to me, I have been listening to the show for 6, 7, 8 months, and I've never looked at my credit. You're listening to the sound of my voice. Everyone in the sound of my voice, I need you to go check your credit report. Not only for your own sake. I don't care if you think you know everything that's on there because you know you had this bad account and this good account, or because you say, hey, I pay my bills on time every time. I don't need to check my credit report. It's perfectly fine. Or I closed on a home a year ago, so I don't need to check on my credit report. Everything was good then. It should be good now. That's not the point. And it may not be the case. With the Equifax hack that happened last year in 2017, any and everything could be going on with your credit report. And so it would behoove you to go ahead and check your credit report. Now, where can you get it? You can get your credit report. It should be the same everywhere that you get it, no matter if you get it through a place like Credit Sesame, Credit.com, Credit Karma. It should be the same on Equifax, TransUnion, Experian. It should be the same on all of the credit reports. You can also go to, and this is where I suggest you go to get it for free, sanctioned by the Fair Credit Reporting Act. You go to www.annualcreditreport.com. www.annualcreditreport.com. Don't Google that at all. You need to go directly there, because if you Google it, you'll wind up on somebody's page and they're going to charge you for your credit report. You don't need to be charged for your credit report. So I want you to do that. I want you to go check your credit report. If you find an error on your credit report, what is the next thing that you're going to do? We talked about 3 weeks ago. You're going to file a dispute. File a dispute if you find something on your credit report and it's simply not right. Something not right about it. I don't care if it is the date that it opened. I don't care if it's a card that says that it's open and you think it's closed. I don't care if it has the wrong balance on it, as long as the balance isn't too close. So I don't want you filing a dispute if your balance is $450 per the credit bureau, but you say you owe $200 and you just made a payment a couple of weeks ago. I don't want you to do that. But I do want you to look for inaccuracies on your credit report, since there are so many that have been reported, and file a dispute on that particular thing. Now, what happens if you filed a dispute before and it came back and they said, hey, this, as far as we know, this is correct information and it's going to stay on your credit report? I want you to, depending on the time frame. So I don't want you to get an investigation decision back, and you got one back in January, and then, come February, you want to file another dispute after it's already come back. But if you filed a dispute eons ago, years ago, a couple years ago, or whatever it is, and it's still on your credit report and you never took care of it, then I want you to go ahead and file yet another dispute. Go ahead and do that. If you file another dispute, who knows? Laws have changed. Things have changed. Company could be out of business, which means they would never respond back to that particular dispute, and it may come off of your credit report. So if you haven't filed a dispute, you did that years ago, I want you to go ahead and pull that up and file yet another dispute on that particular account and see what happens. You never know. It might come your way, it might not fall your way, but it's definitely worth the try to do so. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it's already halfway through the show. I feel like I've been talking